Who's your commander?
Good luck.
Equip.
Move to combat. Resolves.
Right.
Now, before you attack,
Does anyone have an answer?
Well played.
Good game.
Hello everyone, my name is DJ. You're watching the Jumbo Commander YouTube channel. You know, I've been asking myself whether Commander is becoming cheaper or more expensive to play. It could be getting cheaper because we're getting lots of Commander cards in normal sets at uncommon rarities and tons of reprints. But also I look at some of these individual cards that are so expensive, and I wonder if the format's more expensive to play. You know what? Today I want to take a look at a few of those very expensive cards that might be worth it for you to play in your Commander decks. But before we get started, I want to thank today's sponsor, Cubamajigs. Man, these are little plastic booster packs that are resealable and reusable and have amazing art on them. And so if you have a cube and you want to recreate that booster opening experience, like Cubamajigs are awesome. But what I actually use them for in a lot of cases is organization. Like I want to keep certain cards together, put tokens in with commander decks, and basically like just keep my cards under control. So if you think this is something that you would like, go ahead and click on the link in the description and that'll take you over to Cubamajig's Kickstarter, where they have tons of amazing art, a bunch of different options, and I think you're going to like it. All right, the first expensive card that you might want to buy is Mana Drain. Mana Drain is blue for an instant counter target spell. At the beginning of your next main phase, add an amount of colorless mana equal that spell's mana value. So counter spell is the most played blue card in Commander. And Mana Drain is just better counter spell. It's just amazing. So you get to counter something, but then it gives you this huge influx of mana, this boost of mana, which can let you double or triple spell your following turn. It really pushes you ahead of everyone else. Mana Drain has been an expensive card throughout Commander's history, only seeing an original reprint in Legends. But then it got reprinted in Iconic Masters and reprinted again in Commander Legends. And now the price of a Mana Drain is $40? $40 is very reasonable, and it is close to the cheapest it's ever been right now. Now with original counterspell being under $1, $40 does seem like a lot for the same effect, but trust me, the mana boost that you get from this really pushes it into a league of its own. I have to say that Mana Drain is worth that $40. All right, moving on to our next card. You know, this used to be a top 10 list, but it took way too long. So I only have 3 cards for you today. If you like this video, give me the thumbs up, let me know down in the comments, and I'll make a video for the other 7. Okay, the next card that you should buy that it's a little bit expensive is Concordant Crossroads. Concordant Crossroads is a single green mana for a world enchantment, and it says all creatures have haste. Okay, so why is this card $55 for a white bordered version? If you want something that looks good in your deck, a black border, it's going to cost you over $200 for this card. So Concordant Crossroads is just a haste enabler, so it allows green decks to do broken stuff and win with their creatures immediately. Green is really good at just putting a bunch of creatures onto the battlefield, whether it's a combo or something like that, and so Concordant Crossroads is one of your ways out. And honestly, it's one of the only ways that you can sort of finish up your combo or get all your creatures through for damage right now. Now, if you're looking for this haste effect in green, you definitely don't have a lot of options. You do have one in the form of Crashing Drawbridge. 2 mana for an artifact creature wall with Defender, tap, creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. Now, this is good, but it's not a complete answer, because Crashing Drawbridge has to be on the battlefield to grant everything else haste, because it itself doesn't have haste. You can't just play it and immediately activate it, like you kind of can for Concordant Crossroads. On the other hand, it's 13 cents. So that's a pretty good trade-off right there. If we are looking for something that can just hit the battlefield and immediately give things haste, well, we're jumping up to 7 mana with Akroma's Memorial. This legendary artifact says creatures you control have flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, haste, protection from black and red. This is a big, beefy card, and honestly, it can kind of replace Concordant Crossroads, because sometimes when green wins, it creates just a ton of mana, and it doesn't matter if Concordant Crossroads costs 1 or 7, you'd pay anything for haste. This does come in at around $11, and so you're thinking, okay, $11 for a slower, not as efficient version of Concordant Crossroads, I don't know. If you're looking for just one thing to have haste, you can grant it in tons of different ways, like Surok the Hunt Caller, Lightning Greaves, Swiftfoot Boots, all that good stuff. That's pretty good, but a lot of times you want to haste up your whole board. You want to just put a ton of things on the battlefield. Like, I think I include Concordant Crossroads when I play a card like Genesis Wave. I Genesis Wave like almost my whole deck onto the battlefield, and then oops, they all have haste too, and then I win. Okay, so Concordant Crossroads does fit a very specific niche. It's not on the reserve list, so it can be reprinted, but it hasn't been in a long time. And I think it's because the card says World Enchantment on it. Yeah, I don't think that there's ever been a World Enchantment reprint because it's just not how we play Magic right now. And so I think Concordant Crossroads is pretty safe from reprinting, but it also just means it might get more expensive. And finally, the last expensive card that you should consider buying is Academy Rector. 3 and a white for a 1/2 human cleric. When Academy Rector dies, you may exile it. If you do, search your library for an enchantment card, put that card on the battlefield, then shuffle. Academy Rector is on the reserve list, so that means that its ability to be reprinted is slim to none. It came from Urza's Destiny, and an original copy costs $135. Ugh. There is a World Champs gold border version that's costing around $33. You know what, if you pulled out a gold bordered Academy Rector against me, I would encourage you to play it. But go ahead and check with your playgroup first before you spend $35 on something that gets you frowns. But Academy Rector is honestly so good. Let me convince you that it is worth the money. Cheating enchantments into play is so much fun and so powerful. I mean, let's just think about the powerful enchantments that you can get into play. I mean, you can get game-winning enchantments like Vicious Shadows. One reason why Vicious Shadows is so good is it's 7 mana to get on the battlefield, but a lot of times if you've gotten Vicious Shadows, you have a sacrifice outlet already on the board because you probably sacrificed your Academy Rector. So you just sacrifice the rest of your board and then win the game. It's pretty great. There are other cards that help you win the game. Captive Audience is a hilarious one, another 7-mana enchantment, and you can just go after one opponent and they basically die in a couple turns. It's a hilarious effect. Of course, you can just keep going with your own game plan by getting tons of mana. Nyx Bloom Ancient is another 7 mana enchantment, and it triples your mana. Triple is huge. But do you know what's better than tripling your mana? Not needing mana at all. Omniscience is 10 mana for this enchantment. You can just cast spells. Just go ahead and cast them. You don't have to pay their mana cost. Don't worry about that. Academy Rector can find a ton of big enchantments and put them right onto the battlefield. But of course, it can work in combo too. If you're playing with Food Chain or Pattern of Rebirth or any of those broken enchantments that can help you combo out, then Academy Rector helps you get there. And those are 3 cards that are outlandishly expensive that actually might be worth the money for you. I don't know if it's worth it for you. Tell me in the comments down below. I want to thank my sponsor for today, and that's Cubamajigs. They really make some cool stuff, so go ahead and check out their Kickstarter, link in the description. I also want to thank Cool Stuff Inc. They sponsor the Jumbo Commander YouTube channel every single day, and if you use the coupon code JUMBO5, you can save 5% off your order. And thank you to my patrons, who I need to keep this channel going. Thank you, patrons, and thank you so much for watching. See you soon. Bye-bye.